This podcast was originally live-streamed on the NonSequitur Show on YouTube. New episodes air weekdays, Monday through Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/NonSequitur Show. Make sure you never miss a live stream by visiting www.nonsecshow.com/schedule. For the latest news, polls and updates throughout the day, follow us on Twitter at NonSecShow or Facebook.com/NonSecShow. That's NonSeq Show. If you'd like to get exclusive content, bi-weekly private hangouts with Kyle and Steve, backstage access to chat with guests after shows hosted on your channel and much more, become a Patreon saint of NonSequitur. It ensures we continue to improve our show and brings you into the process at the same time. Visit patreon.com/NonSequitur today while the limited spots are still available.
The following podcast is intended for those who believe bold ideas are righteous, unique perspectives are gospel, and strong opinions are sacred. This is Non Sequitur. Never follow. And now, here are your hosts, Kyle Curtis and Steve McRae.
Our opening line tonight comes from a gentleman named Apologia, who writes, "From the company that brought you $100 million boat that isn't waterproof comes the definite book on why evolution is wrong." Thank you, Apologia. Welcome, everybody, to Non Sequitur. It's good to have you here. Tonight's going to be a fantastic show. I've been looking forward to this ever since we had this booked. And we are joined tonight by Shannon Q. Hello, Shannon.
Hi.
And from Stated Clearly and Casually, Jon Perry. Welcome, Jon. It's good to have you here.
Hello. My first time on the show. It's exciting.
Yeah. It's good to have you here. And Steve, how are you doing today?
Not my first time on the show, but I'm glad to be here.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Could you be wrong about that?
Yes. I am not wrong about that.
Okay. Little nod to
I'm very happy to be here. I have one of my favorite YouTubers actually here with us today. So, and Shannon too, by the way. But
excellent.
No, thanks. Thanks, Dave.
I just have two announcements, but that I'm going to do before we jump right in, because I wanted to, and this is important. And we'll go to the debate tomorrow with Dr. Jeanson and Dr. Mays, and that's going to be at 8:00 Eastern tomorrow. Dr. Jeanson wrote a book. I thought I had it up here, but I don't. There it is. There you go. Replacing Darwin. And we've been looking forward to this since last February. He will be here to discuss some points in the book. And as you'll see tonight, there are certain things that I feel we can kind of tackle tonight, so that tomorrow when you come in, it'll be like, especially for me, like Steve would be able to grasp the points, me not so much. And so I think something like this is important so that everybody can kind of have a better understanding of what some of the subject matter is that we're going to be going through tomorrow. Following the debate tomorrow, we're going to have an after show with a panel to kind of go through the debate and how it went, some of the points that were brought up. A lot of huge names coming on to be a part of that. So this is equally as exciting. Apologia will be there. Aaron Ra will be there. Trevor Valley will be there. He was the paleontologist from the Dinosaurs Aren't Real episode. And if you're just joining us for the first time, yes, that's a real thing. You can go and check it out yourself. Also, we've invited Jon and Shannon if they would like to be with us as well. And what we'll do is we'll just go through some of the different points that were brought up, give our opinions, ask some questions. And so there are a lot of knowledgeable people will be joining us for that too. So that will be immediately following the debate tomorrow between Dr. Nathaniel Jeanson and Herman Mays. Okay. At this point in time, I'm going to let Jon and Shannon introduce themselves and let you guys know where you can check more of them out, and then we'll jump straight into it. Ladies first. Shannon, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, people. I am Shannon Q. I have a channel that is called Shannon Q, where I have discussions about the intersection between atheism and psychology and a psychological aspect of atheism and religion, and also have live streams where we have complicated conversations and try to model that those conversations can be done in a positive and an enlightening way. We try to help elevate the discourse over on our channel. And I'm also the co-host of the Heathen Hour, which is on our own channel now. We have the Heathen Hour channel, if you'd like to go subscribe as well. And I have a degree in psychology, and I focused in perceptual cognition and communication theory. And I have read the book Replacing Darwin, and also work with the Apologia channel. And I'm very familiar with Answers in Genesis and their ilk, and I'm really excited to be here today. And I'm a big fan of my friend Jon here, who I'm going to let take his turn, because he is about to say some really amazing things that you are all very, very lucky to be able to listen to going into tomorrow. So go ahead, Jon.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So I am Jon Perry. I've been doing animations on YouTube, teaching biology, mainly genetics and evolution, since 2012. That's when I first started doing it. And I just started because I was frustrated with how genetics was taught in college. I thought it could be taught a lot cleaner. So I'm curious how well I'll do today in a live presentation, because I don't normally do these types of things. But my goal is to explain the genetics that are going to be debated tomorrow. Because Nathaniel Jeanson he's written a book that talks a lot about evolutionary trees and molecular clocks. So these are evolutionary trees where we try to find out when two species split from each other. And we use molecules like DNA and protein to do that. And the book is, it's pretty hard to follow if you're not already familiar with that stuff. And I think the debate's going to be especially hard to follow, because I would say maybe the first half of Jeanson's book is him going over the science a little bit, and we probably won't have that privilege tomorrow. So my goal is to try and simplify that as much as I can, and hopefully get good questions and feedback from you guys while we're doing this. And hopefully we can set them up to have a debate where the audience is already primed to know what's going on, right? To understand the science. I'm not going to be trying to attack Nathaniel's position or anything. I am not in agreement with his position, but I'm not going to be trying to attack it. I'm just trying to set them up so that they can have a good debate tomorrow and, understand everybody's on the same page. So,
excellent.
Just real quick first. Sorry, what?
Mm-hmm. I just said that was excellent.
Yeah. But I've got two channels. I've got Stated Clearly, which is where I do these animations, and they're designed for classroom use. And I've got a new channel called Stated Casually, where I do kind of talking head videos, and I talk a little bit more about creationism and stuff like that. I actually met Nathaniel Jeanson in December because I went to the Ark and I went to the Creation Museum, and he was really cool. He gave me a tour of the Creation Museum. We went to the kind of the back area, and he showed me some of his research. So we got to meet, and I was able to clarify some things I didn't understand in his book. So hopefully this will go well here.
I think it's going to be fantastic. Just as an aside real quick, I saw your Sandhopper video recently, and it's fantastic. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. So check it out, guys, if you haven't already. It's phenomenal.
And if I can,
I was so mad.
I just really want to real quick. I do want to thank Dr. Jeanson for actually sending us his book for us to kind of review before tomorrow. He seems like a really personal, nice guy, and I just wanted to say my thank you for him for actually sending me the copy to read.
Absolutely. All right, it's your show now. We're gonna pop your first slide up, and then whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right, cool. So yeah, the point today is to talk about what a molecular clock is. A lot of people aren't super familiar with that. I'll talk about the discovery of the clock, which actually happened by a guy who was in my hometown here. The types of molecules that can be used as molecular clocks, what mitochondria are, the pros and cons of using mitochondria to make molecular clocks, and then mutation rate versus substitution rate, which is a really important thing, a really important concept to be able to understand what I think a lot of the debate is going to be about tomorrow, because Nathaniel has a unique position on this that is not normal in the scientific community. So that's my goal here. So we'll go to the next slide. Before I dig into all that, we should probably just kind of go over the basics of how DNA makes protein, because it's really important to know that when you're looking at these clocks. So the DNA can be found inside of a cell. This is, skin cell or something here. And DNA is found in the nucleus. That's where most of your DNA is. Every one of your cells has half the DNA that you got from your mother, half the DNA that you got from your father, and that's in the nucleus. Then there are these little organelles called mitochondria, which also have their own DNA. And they're really, really fascinating structures. And I'm going to be talking about why mitochondria are in our cells later and what they are. They have a really, really weird origin. And they are inherited from the mother only. They're in the egg cell. And so your mother actually gives extra DNA. She gives her half of her nucleus DNA, and then she gives her mitochondrial DNA. And the father just gives DNA from the nucleus. So you're actually more of your mom than you are of your father. And that's true for all mammals. And so there's DNA in both of these compartments. And the main thing that DNA does is it makes proteins. It tells the cell how to make proteins. Go to the next slide here. This might look a little bit busy, but we've got amino acids on the left. And amino acids are they're really small molecules. They're about, the smallest amino acid is about 3 or 4 times the size of a water molecule. So they're pretty small. The largest is about 10 times the size of a water molecule. Pretty small little structures. And a lot of people in textbooks, you'll see them called the building blocks of life. And there are 20 different kinds of amino acids that our bodies use. And your cells put them together sort of like Legos to build proteins. And proteins are like the machines of life. They're what powers our movements. They're what powers our cells. They're the things in our cells that are moving around and doing stuff. That's protein. There's lots of different types of protein, and their structure dictates what types of things they do. So keratin is a protein that's in our fingernails, and it's basically just a structural protein. It's kind of hard, and it acts like a lattice work. You've got pepsin, which is a protein in your stomach, and it rips apart food. There's all kinds of different proteins. And they are built by, the cell takes amino acids, sticks them together, kind of head to tail in a big long chain. You can see this protein here that I drew has a little tail coming out. That's because the protein's not done folding yet. The cell puts these amino acids into a chain, and different parts of those amino acids are sticky, and they'll bend and they'll fold and they'll stick to themselves to form this 3-dimensional structure. And so that 3-dimensional structure, which dictates what the protein, how it will behave, that 3-dimensional structure is dictated by the sequence of amino acids in this chain, which then folds in on itself to become a protein. Things are a little bit more complicated than that. There's other things that happen to kind of form the final shape of a protein, but that's basically it. A chain is built, that chain folds in on itself, it forms a 3-dimensional structure. And the sequence of amino acids that are put together to make that chain, those are dictated by our DNA. That's what DNA does. DNA tells the cell how to build proteins, which proteins to build, when to build them, how much to build.